Okay, you know what's fun? Ramps. Let's add some ramps to our level and start to make it a little bit more fun, a bit more dynamic. So, here I am in Blender, and all I've done is I've just sort of got a cube, which I just stretched and pulled one edge down, um, and just added a few more faces to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to just keep this sort of quite simple. So I'm just going to select this face here, this big one in the middle, and we're going to sort of make a Mario Kart style ramp. And I'm just going to set this to a color, like red, and I'm also going to press assign. Now I'm going to press invert it and select all the other faces. So essentially I've got every other face this time apart from that one face. I'm going to create a new material and assign that to it too. So now I've got two materials, and essentially what that means is I'll be able to assign a different property per each one. And you can do the same thing in Maya, so you just select the face that you want to work with. Let's say you're working with this face, or you're working with that face. You just right click and then create new material or assign new material, I think it is. And just put like a Lambert on it, then invert your selection and assign like a blend or just something different. That way we'll have two materials when we export it out. And if you want to, because it's always best not to have overlapping UVs. I mean, if you start with a cube, you should be fine. So you can like press auto UV, but what I'm going to do is I want this main face of mine, so I'm just going to quickly go back and grab my main face. So if I go back to my materials, I'm going to select you, then press select. That should grab it, and it didn't seem to. Let me just go back to... Oh, it did grab it. Never mind. Maybe silly. Did it select it? Right, select and assign. Why is the material gone back red again? I mean, not red anymore. Oh, it's... Never mind. Sorry, not brilliant with Blender. Okay, so I've got this. I'm just going to quickly go to UV editing. And with this face here, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick unwrap. And we can just do an unwrap like this. And what I'll do is I'll just grab UVerts over here and just stretch it so it's just going to cover everything across like that. Cool. Nice and simple material. Now I've got this, I'm just going to quickly export. And we do have overlapping UVs, sorry, maybe. So if you did want to resolve that, we could just shrink this down a bit. So let's just shrink you down a bit, a touch. And then let's get everything else. And then grab all the view. And I'm just going to set this black. So if you are really concerned about your overlapping UVs, I'm just going to stick that in the top corner. There you go. Not overlapping anymore, are they? Export FBX. And just save this somewhere useful. I'm just going to save it to my downloads for now. Ramp. Cool. Now in Photoshop, I've just created a new canvas, 525 by 525 pixels. Let's just flood it blue, and then let's get our shape tool and see if we can get an arrow of some kind. Can we get just a simple pointy arrow? Yeah, look at that one, perfect. And let's give it a different color. There we go. Cool, that'll do. I'm just going to rotate it. I didn't check which way my UVs are laid out, but we'll figure it out shortly. Yeah. Stretch it up so your edges are touching. As long as, because this is a shape, it should be pretty much a seamless texture. But you can work harder again, you can refine this, you can always check it, by using other and offset. And using that to check it. And I'm just going to save this real quick as a JPEG to my downloads. Ramp E. Oops, I said that as a PSD. So there's Ramp E. I'm calling it Ramp E because it's going to be our emission. Miss it channel. Save. Cool. Let's jump back into Unreal. Let's import that mesh. And import. Or we can just drag and drop. So we can press import or drag and drop. Importing our ramp. Cool. Remember before I said we can combine meshes, but this is all one mesh. Weirdly, it's got different uniform scale. And that's going to import two materials with it. You can see it did down here. And that's fine. Let's just double click it and open it up. So, should have got two materials, but it's not. Why has it only got one material slot? That should have worked. Why did you not work? Let's just quickly jump back to Blender and see what's happening. Let's just create a new material. I think Blender's just not happy for whatever reason. New. Set it to green. It's probably not Blender. I'm blaming Blender. It's probably just me. And you're in that. Oops. You're in that face. Let's select it. Let's get you and let's delete you. Oh, you're unable to do that. Okay. And then with this one, let's just set you to a different color. And then make sure you guys. So that one's selected. That one's selected. All right. I think we're good. I'm just going to re-export it. Like I say, if you've done this in Maya, I'm sure you'll be fine. Like I say, you just need two assigned materials. So I'm just going to jump back into Unreal, right-click it, and say re-import. And then it's going to say, you've got two materials now. I'm like, good, I wanted two materials in the first place. All right, so I'm just going to drag a generic black around my edge. And for the next part, I'm going to jump to my materials folder, which is also where I'm importing my textures, which is not very organized, but what you're going to do, grab you, right-click, and create a material. Now, just a little bit about materials and making them awesome. Like I said before, I want to make this emissive. So if we think about that Mario Kart 1, we actually want this wired up into the emission channel. Now, we can make it more glowy or less glowy and edit it and tweak it and refine it and all that good stuff. So let's do that now. So let's drag a fit and type in multiply. And the higher the multiply value, the more this is going to glow and be awesome. So I'm just going to say 4. You know, feel free to have fun and mess about with that as you will. And you can change the view of what you're viewing. And like, for example, if you click this teapot, like if I select my ramp, well, if you select your ramp and you click the teapot, it'll show, but we can just test this on this square. If your shares are compiling faster than mine. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want a panner node. Now, panner is going to be awesome. And what this is going to do is it's going to move it in direction, either X horizontal or Y vertical. So I'm just going to hit 1 and press save. Okay, we can see this is now moving up, but how's this actually going to look on our ramp when we drag and drop it on? It looks fine. Cool. Okay. So now when I made this in Photoshop, it was a 512 by 512, and obviously this is wider. So if you wanted to, let's say you're making something more specific, I actually think it's way too emissive. We've lost a lot of the colour. You see how the colours become quite drained? So I'm just going to take that down to 2. And what we could use is something called a texture code. So we can type in texture code, or texture coordinate system. Or you can hold U and left click in some space. Now, if we wanted this to sort of pan a bit more or repeat more frequently, for example, with this selected, and again, this is something you can mess with. Like I could set this to 4, for example. And then what that's going to do is repeat this picture 4 times. So let's save it and check it out. Cool, okay. I thought I should have done it on the X, but actually that looks interesting. Let's now go to our meshes where we put it, and let's drag a ramp on here. So with my road, I actually want it to have a ramp to end on. So I'm actually going to move this one back a little bit. And actually just move my start point. over here, perhaps. Give or take. You know, that's something you can mess with, but I'm now going to stick move my player, because otherwise my player's going to be in the wrong part. Move you over here, like that. And let's see this ramp. Oh my god, it's big. Nice little keyboard shortcut is end. Press end on your keyboard and I'll put that in the right place. Cool, okay, let's go. Sweet ramp incoming. Ugh. That was a bit rubbish. Let's quickly open up our mesh. Let's just check the collision on it. So let's press show. In fact, it's probably just a complex. Let's see. Simple collision. So you see what's happening. So it's sort of hit that, and it's sensing that collision there. But we could press say show complex collision, and we can see that gives us a much nicer collision. So let's quickly go down and change it from project default to use complex as simple. Save, and let's go again. F11 full screen. Woo! Ramp. Amazing. Cool. All right. Good stuff. This level is coming along.